Hi, I'm Mark Lamia. I'm the studio head at Treyarch.
Call of Duty Black Ops. Some people were expecting maybe you'd follow up 2 with maybe a return to World War II stuff. Why did you decide to continue the Black Ops series?
You know, we just weren't done telling the story that we wanted to tell with Black Ops, and you know, while we haven't gone in depth into the narrative, I think Black Ops, regardless of the time frame or setting that it's set in, we have a narrative that we're telling. It's you know, there's always the conflict that's going out in the world that we set up for the fans and the story that we create, but it's also about those deniable operations and those the twists in the narrative that we like to deliver to the fans. It's, I think, unique to Call of Duty Black Ops. It's unique inside of Call of Duty, and I think that's what makes Black Ops stories so fun and resonate with the fans so much. And we wanted to follow up Black Ops 2. I mean, what happened there were the drone strikes in 2025, and it left the world in a different place. It left a world saying we could never let something like this ever happen again. And so what happened was we created a world where the politicians at the time get together and they just and they create these laser umbrella systems that protect all the major cities, thereby basically nullifying air superiority and bringing combat back down to the ground, which accelerates even more so than we're seeing today. And you're starting to see the seeds of this today with advanced robotics and drones and just the machinery on the battlefield. You see a massive acceleration of all of that weaponry on the battlefield. Well, that weaponry on the battlefield has no sense of self-preservation. It makes it very difficult for the combat soldiers in the field. And so soldiers start to enhance their bodies to be able to compete, to survive. Not just physically augmenting themselves with bionics, but in our fiction what we have is direct neural interface. Now these things are being used, starting to be used in medical ways to help people who either have disorders, diseases, or who have lost limbs. In the future, the battlefield is networked. Like, that's going to happen. There's going to be, you know, everything on the battlefield is going to be networked, and sort of the final stage of that is networking ourselves to those things. And when you have a direct neural interface, a subdermal implant in your brain, to be able to do that, it creates a very powerful fighting force. You suddenly have the most elite soldiers on the battlefield fighting. And if you thought the specter of having drones in the skies and the fact that they could be turned on anybody presented a terrifying fiction to be able to experience, well, wait till you see what happens when we start integrating technology even more so. We see the seeds of this today. Technology is becoming more and more prevalent in our lives. We start seeing that being integrated into our minds and our bodies. I'm sure nothing bad will happen with that.
No, absolutely not. Was there ever a concern in the studio after you'd seen what Sledgehammer did with Advanced Warfare, Respawn have done with Titanfall, that maybe people would be comparing Black Ops 3 to what's gone before in those games?
So for us, it's always been about creating the game that we want to make, and you know, we've been making this game for almost 3 years now, long before any of those games were seen or known or whatever. So our ambitions, I mean, one of the very first things we did was really wanting to create this fast and fluid movement system, something that felt like Black Ops, but felt like the next Black Ops, which is, I think, what we have here. And you know, we've been playing it now for years and enjoying it, and I think that's the great thing about what we have at E3 here today, for the first time ever in the franchise, letting people get their hands on it earlier than ever before. I mean, certainly one of the benefits of having now a 3-year cycle is that, you know, we're at a place right now where, while we're always playing our game, a lot of the other areas are just much further along than we've ever had and much more refined. And we really just wanted to get it into the fans' hands so that they could experience it, hear me talk less about it. You know, of course, they're going to look at videos and things, but it's most important and I think most authentic for fans also when they can hear just everyone playing it, when they can hear about, you know, Xbox Achievements playing it, or just anybody playing it other than us, and hearing from them. That's the validation and that's the gratification. And that's what we really wanted to be able to have, and that's so important to us. It's why we're doing a beta. It's why you're, you know, if you pre-order the game, you get to play the beta, and we're gonna have other details about how you could participate. But really, I just want to get it into people's hands, be able to get some great feedback prior to launch, and make sure it's the strongest launch possible for everyone. Cool.
I mean, the campaign, does that have the same kind of mechanics and gameplay features as the multiplayer? You know, are the two comparable, or are they completely kind of separate entities?
So inside the studio, we like to think of them, we're making one game, but they do have creative freedom. And it really is 3 different games between the campaign, between the multiplayer, and of course their zombies mode. So they do share technology, but the movement systems that you've seen in multiplayer, they do exist in the campaign. But the thing about the campaign is, it's all about player choice. It's a co-op game, something we've been doing, of course, for a long time with our 4-player co-op with zombies for a long time. So we know how to make those games. We have the technical side of that very well sorted out. But zombies is a very different game than the campaign. And one of the things we wanted to do is taking some inspiration and learnings from multiplayers, allowing players to kit up and outfit themselves and customize their character for the play style that they have. And that includes, if you want to have advanced movement systems, that means you're going to outfit your gear for that ability, or you want different cyber abilities. If you want to hack drones on the battlefield, that's a choice that you will make. There's many things. I think there's almost 40 cyber abilities that you can, between cyber abilities and rigs and all the different upgrades and enhancements you can make to yourself that are playable. And that's really important because it's a co-op game. We want people to not only go through and play it and upgrade their path, but we want them to play it with their friends because it's so much fun to play together. And if you've already played a mission early on, but your friend now wants to start playing, you can go back to that mission. And if you've upgraded yourself in a particular way, say you didn't have those movement abilities that we talked about, or even the hacking ability with all the drones on the battlefield, or the drones on the battlefield that you can hack, you can now go back to an earlier level and play it completely differently than how you experienced it the first time when you played it. And it's really up to the player. It's about player choice. We've opened up the battle spaces, created an entirely new AI system to keep it fun and engaging each and every time you play it.
Okay, so you can customize the cybernetics and the abilities of your player. Are there any kind of cosmetic customization options there as well?
There are. There's cosmetic upgrades as well as gameplay upgrades. Both of them, and I think that's important because one of the things we're doing is a lot of the narrative that we're telling, we're not going to pull you out to pre-rendered CG. We're going to do it. We have a brand new graphics engine, new animation system, new cinematics tools that our animators are using. And when you see inside the game the narrative being told, it will be you as you've customized and upgraded your character. And that we really want to keep people immersed in the fiction. And in this game, I mean, it's everything from how you customize your character to whether at the beginning you've chosen to play as a male or a female. For the first time ever, on a Call of Duty campaign, we've written a script and a story and a narrative that is either a male or a female, and it's really the actor and actress that we've brought to the table who bring the personality of those characters to life that you play. Because as you know, in Black Ops game, we give the player a voice. We really want to tell the narrative. You know, in the past it's been Mason or Mason Jr. or different characters that we've let you play. In this character, it's you.
Does that Mason saga bleed into the campaign at all?
So Mason is not directly related, but the events of the world of Black Ops that we created in Black Ops 2 and the tones and the themes are directly relevant. And the history of Black Ops and the fiction that we've created is actually embedded in there for players to discover and learn about more so. We've really, in a way, opened up how we've created our worlds, our narrative, and all the research and thought that we always do, that fans always want to ask us about and learn about. We've actually put some of that in the game for the fans to be able to explore if they want. It's just another layer of things that they can enjoy and experience inside the game. Cool.
Also, you're coming out on last gen. You didn't actually announce that straight away. Was there a reasoning for kind of holding that back as an announcement?
Well, Treyarch is solely focused on making this game for next gen and harnessing the power of next gen platforms, and it's really Activision's decision to bring it to the other platforms, and you know, the hardworking teams at Beanox and Mercenary are obviously working on that.
Do you have to kind of oversee that and obviously put into that?
Look, we of course we share everything we can with them. Those guys have a tough job because we are bringing it, you know, we're harnessing the full power of next gen for our game, and we're not holding back one iota. And so, you know, naturally, there's going to be differences between those platforms, and you know, Activision will be, as that game develops and matures, Activision will be telling people about that as well.
Okay, cool. You haven't really talked much about zombies yet. Is there anything you can tell us without, you know, being shot? Is there anything you can reveal to us?
First off, I'd like to say thank you to the fans, because more so than anything that we have ever created, there's an entire game that we get to make and create that we love making, that is really because the fans have adopted it and played it and continue to play it to this day. So first off, thank you very much, because we wouldn't be able to do it without you. What I can tell you is that it's really important to us, and we do look at it as its own game. What I can tell you is it's unique. It's uniquely creative to both the campaign and the multiplayer. Whereas those two share a fiction, I can tell you that it is different than either the campaign or the multiplayer, and that it is, as our fans would expect of zombies, a completely unique and mind-blowing experience, threaded with pretty deep, narrative and Easter eggs, and it's a rich world. Players will have the ability for the very first time in zombies to be recognized for their investment by being able to rank up. They'll have more investment, I think, because of that. We haven't sacrificed simplicity. Don't worry, your zombies game is there. It's just an entirely unique creative. It's an entirely new game. It's massive in its gameplay and scope, and I think fans are just going to love it. Yeah, okay. What did you guys think of Advanced Warfare's take on zombies? Were you like, they stole our idea, or were you like, oh, this is kind of a cool take on it? How did you guys feel about that? I thought it was flattering that was a choice that the other teams wanted to have. They drew inspiration from zombies and what we created, and they wanted to have their own unique take on it, and all the more power to them.
Did they come to you at all and say, do you mind if we put this in our game first?
Well, we talk about things, and I think the thing that I always tell people, whether it's in my studio or outside of my studio, is make it your own. Yeah. Like, that's what you're going to be best at. Don't look at what other people are making to realize you're creative. Do your own thing, and if other people draw inspiration from what we're creating, that's fine, as long as they're doing their own thing and doing their best work. Because in the end, that's what's most important to the people who are creating it. You can't be thinking about what other people are thinking or making. You have to make the best thing you can, and then you have to push each other to make it the best you can.
If you had to pick one thing that you're most excited about bringing to players in Black Ops 3, what would it be?
I cannot tell you one thing. There are too many things. I mean, look, on the campaign, I'm excited because I love playing co-op. I love playing co-op games. I love playing our zombies game. I think that's just going to be awesome. Opening that up, having the open battle spaces that we've crafted, being able to replay missions in different ways in the campaign is super exciting to me. I'm excited about the narrative that we're not revealing a lot about, much like we did with Black Ops. We want players to go down the rabbit hole with us a little bit on that one and not know what's going to happen next. And that dark and gritty tale, the game feels better than anything we've ever made. And I think it's the best feeling Call of Duty ever. And like I said, the zombies I'm just super excited about because it's just this, really rich, unique environment. I mean, in total, what I'm excited about is the team didn't sort of rest on the success of Black Ops 2, and we don't take that for granted, and are very appreciative to the fans that even today so many of them still play it. They really pushed super hard, scared the crap out of me in pre-production by taking lots of risks inside this franchise and pushing each part of this game and making what is, I believe, the deepest and richest Call of Duty ever.
Is Treyarch a Black Ops studio now, or do you think one day you would return to, or indeed go for something else within the Call of Duty sphere?
So there's certainly no mandate that that my team just make Black Ops. Yeah. I want to make the games that they're inspired to make, that is going to bring out the best in their creativity. And right now that is doing what we're doing inside of Black Ops, but who knows what the future holds. Black Ops 3 comes out on November 6th worldwide for next-gen systems, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the PC by Treyarch.